There's a spot way back in the boondocks.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Canadian Country Music Podcast, sponsored by Hooligan Fuel Hot Sauce, where you can get the best tasting hot sauce for every occasion at hooliganfuel.com. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning into the live premiere. Please make sure to click the subscribe button and give us the good old thumbs up. If you are watching the premiere, make sure to click over to the live chat button and chat with us right now. Now, if you're listening on any major podcast platforms such as Spotify or Anchor, thank you so much for listening. I am your host, Tim Albertson, Canadian country artist and lover. Today, Northern Ontario takes over the podcast fully with husband and wife duo of Rosewood Avenue. Rooted deep in the true north of Ontario, country duo Rosewood Avenue takes small town dreams to the next level. By a twist of fate, due to a local paper mill shutdown, Dave's family relocated to the small town of Iroquois Falls, where he moved across the avenue from Sabrina. They immediately fell in love and began sharing their passion for music by writing and performing together. While still remaining active in the local music scene and honoring their crafts, Sabrina and Dave pursued their university and college degrees. The duo married in 2017 and started their lives together, where they spent the next couple of their years working their everyday jobs. It wasn't until 2019 that they realized that life brought them together for a bigger reason, and their desire to pursue music together was just that. Rosewood Avenue started with the Willow Sound Records in late 2019, started live streaming every week, and was featured on Country Rebel, amassing over 2 million streams on YouTube, and are now recording with Grammy-nominated and CMA Award winner Garth Fundas, all of which we will discuss later on in detail. Their latest single, Broke, can be heard on all major streaming platforms, as well as SiriusXM Country Channel 171. Canadian Country Music Podcast listeners, please give it up for Sabrina and Dave of Rosewood Avenue. Thank you guys so much for coming on to the show today.
Thanks for having us, Tim. We're excited to be here.
Oh, man. First off, we need to get into this love story of your guys' lives, because if anyone lives the true country music love song, I'm pretty sure it's you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of humorous how it almost sounds like we're telling lies when we start talking about how we met and the whole story, and it's so long now. But you know, it's been quite the journey, and it's still going on, right? Still unraveling as at the present day. So
fair enough. How old were you guys when you first met?
I was 15, and you were 15 too.
Well, I moved to Iroquois Falls at 15,
Okay.
and then I met you when I was 16.
Right. So I was 15, and Dave was 16 years old when we met.
And
Yeah.
Dave, how old are you now?
I'm 29.
Fair enough. Notice I didn't ask Sabrina. Points for me.
Hey, that's very smart.
Right? What inspired you guys both to pursue music together? Was it like, did you hear Dave's voice one day and you're like, oh my goodness, or Dave, was it vice versa? I have a feeling that it's
No, but it's not true though, because I went for Dave first, which was not like me because I was a really shy teenager. But this is going to date ourselves a little bit. I heard a clip of Dave playing the guitar on MSN Messenger.
Good old
Ooh. For the people listening right now, MSN was a place that you actually went to message people before Facebook was around.
Right.
Yep.
So I heard a clip of him playing the guitar, and I was super impressed. And I'm like, he must be from like the city, you know, because we live in this small town. And I get told that, no, that's the guy living across the street from you. He's the guy with the afro. So he used to have back then, and he would dress up as like a metal guitar player. And I'm not making this up. I'm telling you.
This is a true story.
So
This is such a movie.
do you want to hear what his email was?
Yes.
Dave Rockstar 101 at
Wow.
At hotmail.com.
Oh, at hotmail.com.
Right.
That's right.
Hold up, ladies.
Hotmail. Yeah. So basically, she contacted me first on MSN. She added me, so I'm like, who's this Sabrina girl, you know? And she starts talking to me, and I'm like, I got better things to do there.
You're just quoting a Terry Clark song, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
You can tell how long you guys have been together right now because she's not slapping you at all right now.
Yeah. So basically, we got invited to one of her. I didn't know who she was, but we got invited to one of her friends' house. My parents were friends with their parents, and they showed me. They're like, yeah, I can't remember how it got to the subject, but started talking about Sabrina and how she's recording, and we're like 15, 16 years old, and she's a singer and she's recording her own original music, and I'm like, what? Who? Like, and they're like, yeah, she lives in front of you. And I'm like, all right.
Well, yeah.
So
all of a sudden, he's interested.
That night, I go home, I go on MSN. Hey, so
I heard
As we all did.
yeah,
that's kind of how it started.
yeah. I mean, and then do you want the long version, or do you
Give her? We're already this far into it. I cannot wait to see where this goes.
Yeah. So the first time I messaged him, he was like, okay, awesome. You're my neighbor. Let's move on. I didn't mention anything about me hearing him play guitar. I just wanted to see if he was a nice guy.
Fair enough.
I said, you know what? Next time I see you, like, I'm going to say hello. So I see him leaving the high school because we went to the same high school, but he was in the French school, which was on the top floor, and I was in the English school on the bottom floor. And I see him walking out, and I run out of the high school, and I'm like, hey. He's like, okay.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va? And and I'm like, it's me. It's Sabrina. And he was like, oh, nice to meet you. But that was before he knew I sang. So then
I found out that she sang. So then I'm like, all super friendly because I'm like, all right, this chick is cool.
Yeah. She's got pipes. She's in.
Yeah, she's in. So then we started, we actually became friends. We were friends for basically a full year. We would hang out on weekends, watch movies, and play music, jam, just all friends stuff.
Mom and dad, it's fine.
It's all friends.
Hands were up, doors were open,
lights were on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after a year of just spending lots of time together, we got to a point where like, all right, this is stuff is feelings are starting to kind of.
Yeah, well, you actually were like, I'm gonna put the 7-string away and start playing country. So that was a commitment.
Yeah. I put my Slipknot t-shirts away and
ladies and gentlemen, that is the true definition of love right there.
Yeah. So it kind of just went, it's a long story. But,
yeah. But yeah, that's how we met, and then we did and then that's boring stuff. After that, we did our school, and that
what did you guys graduate from? Which one went to college? Which one went to university?
I went to Nipissing University, so I'm.
Of course, Sabrina went to university.
Yeah, I'm a music teacher at a middle school. Yeah.
Ooh, shout out the middle school.
Yeah, and I went to college in Sudbury, and I'm an X-ray tech.
X-ray tech.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of other questions in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see stuff.
So what kind of songs were you guys like first singing together? What inspirations did you grow up on?
Both of us are kind of like a mixed bag of music. When we first met, I was playing a lot of 90s alternative, believe it or not. Like I grew up listening to a lot of the Cranberries, Alanis Morissette, Sarah McLachlan. I was playing a lot of that stuff and a little bit of country mostly, and classic rock, like a lot of CCR, stuff like that. So that was kind of my side of things.
Yeah. For me, like that's the thing, right? Like I got to become a teenager, and then you're like, I want to have my own taste in music. I choose metal because it's cool and it's loud and it's in your face.
It's very technical as well. It's difficult to do.
Oh yeah, that's the reason it's a big reason why I'm good at rhythm playing now, and just my guitar in general, just because it's. But that being said, I grew up in a very, like, it's country. Like my mom would listen to George Jones, like that's her favorite. And at Christmas I'd play music with my family. We'd play play everything from Merle to even some Alan Jackson, like all the classic country stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it went up into college that I kind of fell back in love with country. Like it was always there in the back.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh wait, I know this song. Oh, I know this song. I know this artist. I've heard this before. And then, I kind of just fell back in love with it, in my early 20s.
I feel like that's kind of the similar way for a lot of people, because like when you're a teenager, you kind of have a tendency to move off of the country music because it doesn't really like, unless you listen to like Billy Gilman at the time, like that's the guy that I can kind of relate to, where I was like, this man's talking about going to school. I can relate to this song. But other words, like I wasn't having heartbreak. I wasn't having my trucks weren't breaking down. My dogs weren't running away. Everything seemed to be fine in my life. So I came up to much music at that time. So from there, I did like the pop bands and I did all that kind of fun stuff. And we got to open up for some cool people. But then once that kind of died out, which it always seems to do, I don't know what it is about that kind of genre of music, but it seems to have a very short lifespan for a little while. And then country music came right back into me, and yeah, 4 chords of truth, all I'll ever need.
Yeah, that's
true. That just and you're right. Like I feel like as you get older, you relate to the story so much more, and you hear a song that you grew up with, like a Merle song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's a pretty song, and then you listen to the lyrics again, and you're like, wow, like that's a heartbreaking song,
right?
You'll have heard a song like your entire life, and then eventually you start listening to it and it hits you in a different way, and you're like, I've known the song for so long, but now it's no,
I 100% agree on that. I was actually playing Copperhead Road the other day, and I was just listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is actually a pretty intense story.
Yeah,
like that's a generation of a story, and I was like, this is incredible. Yeah. It gives you a whole new appreciation for actually being able to play that song too.
Yeah, exactly.
So I, like many others, have seen your live stream performances every week. I can't remember if it was on Dave Woods or if I just saw you guys on Facebook through my feed at first. I know we ended up doing a show with Dave Woods together, but I was immediately drawn into the chemistry and your ability to harmonize with ease together. That is something that I find really difficult to actually see on stage in raw form, of the harmonies clearly in there. Now, clearly, I'm not the only one that saw this, because you guys were featured on Rebel Country. Shortly after that, your YouTube blew up. So how did this opportunity unfold for you guys?
Yeah, so thank you for those kind words.
I just speak the truth.
Well, I appreciate that, but I like to talk a little bit about the harmonies, because when our journey first started playing music together, we were 2 kids, both playing rhythm guitar. You remember our first gig together, I told him I was being my little bossy pants, but I'm like, you're gonna be a lead guitar player. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're gonna learn lead, like, let's do it. So he learns lead, he becomes a great lead guitar player, and then I was on him for years to harmonize and to be comfortable singing, because I heard him singing just around the house and I loved his voice, but he was too shy.
I was like, no, I'm just a guitar player. Come on, I don't do that. I don't do the singing.
Dave only really started singing like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's new.
Because I mean,
well then,
that was quite the journey itself, because when we started taking music, not even like this seriously, but a little bit more seriously, and started taking gigs and stuff, like it was like we'd go under, like it was Sabrina Charlebois.
Mm-hmm.
I would just accompany her, right, and play guitar and
I actually remember seeing that one of your earliest pictures is like Sabrina and Dave.
Yeah.
Well, that was after. So when we decided to do this more seriously and decided to become a duo, and then I'm like, crap, I guess I got to start singing.
You can't be a duo and not have at least a couple of licks in there.
Exactly. So the interesting part in all of this is that I kind of learned to harmonize with Sabrina's voice. So it's this weird thing that sometimes I'll try to harmonize with another singer, like, just when music's playing on the radio or on Spotify or whatever, and I can't get the key. But then Sabrina starts singing it and I get it right away.
I've had that similar experience, except with a piano.
Right.
Somebody hits the piano key and they're like, you need to hit this note. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go into it and I'm like, why was that so difficult in the first place? I hit this note all the time. But for some strange reason, I'm like, it's like I'm trying to match them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's kind of the nice thing about that is that we've kind of developed this chemistry that we only have, right, with each other, because
at least I hope so.
But yeah, so because I learned to sing just with Sabrina, right? I wasn't my own singer, like a lead singer that started singing with Sabrina. I learned to sing around Sabrina's voice. So I think that's kind of the nice, the nice tones and compliments that you hear with when we're singing together.
Yeah, and you drew a lot of inspiration from, like, when we started recording Fool for Love, we were listening to the Woman in Me Shania Twain album during that time, and Dave just really like zeroed in on those Mutt Lange harmonies, because there's that chemistry in there between Shania and Mutt.
That
really like helped us too with developing, especially Fool for Love.
Well, can you imagine, like, okay, I'm here, I'm like, okay, I gotta start singing, and then we find out that we're working with Garth Fundus, so I gotta remember how we talked before, how we did it remote, and we're going to talk about that, I'm sure, after. But I had to send him tracks of my voice alone with nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just learning how to sing now.
We're one and done, aren't we, sweetheart?
Listen to my crappy voice alone, isolated. So that was intimidating.
I will tell you right now, Dave, that even as a guy has been singing since the age of 7, I still do the exact same thing. Every time I will listen to it and I'll be like, oh my goodness. And they'll be like, you did a really good job on that. I'm like, thanks.
Listen to yourself.
Right. So what about Country Rebel? Like, after this, like, how was it that you guys like click on your YouTube? Let's go look at our YouTube channel. Holy crap, 2 million views.
Yeah, so basically, like the pandemic really changed our music. First of all, we became Rosewood Avenue, and we came up with this name. And then, so it's actually our Facebook views that ended up blowing up. So
okay.
And my grandpa's favorite song has always been 7 Spanish Angels by Willie Nelson. We recorded the video, and we've been following Country Rebel for quite a few years. And what we did is we just were like, what if we just send them an email?
We'll just,
and see if they answer the video.
Again, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. We sent them an email of one of our covers. It was the Ingrid Andress. We sent them that, and then they're like, oh, that's, amazing cover. But they're like, and then we realized that after, like, the audience, they like their country, classic country.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, that song, maybe try a different song, something a little bit more classic country. So we're like, oh yeah, sure. Hey, the fact that they replied to us and were willing to hear more, we're like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So then we
sent that, they posted it, and we were on a date night that night, and we just saw the videos blowing up, and it was like insane. So we ordered a bottle of wine. We're like, let's celebrate. And
actually
then,
3.
And then it ended up hitting over 1 million views, which was insane. We've never numbers like that.
Right? I can't even fathom looking at that number.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And
Crazy.
it led a lot of people over to our live streams
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Our fan base definitely grew from that. Like, it's funny now. Like, I think if you look at our stats on Facebook, we got, I think we got like 4,000, 5,000 people from the States,
Mhm.
you know, from the deep, like from Alabama, from Arkansas, from
Yeah, it's
these
cool.
places down south in the States. So it's pretty cool.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's wicked. Now, you guys are also working with Willow Sound Records and recording with Grammy nominated and CMA award winner Garth Fundus, who's only worked with some small people like Sugarland and maybe a couple of legends like Trisha Yearwood and Keith Whitley. First off, congratulations for that. That deserves a round of applause. For artists listening right now and are taking notes, how do these connections transpire for you guys? Like, how did you guys even figure out with Willow Sound, and how did Garth Fundus show up at your doorstep?
Yeah, like that's still amazing. It amazes us to this day. So basically, we recorded a demo, "Full for Love," just
Mhm.
acoustic from our home studio, and we knew we wanted to work with a producer. We didn't know who yet. So Deb Zavidson, based out of Nashville, from the Willow Sound team, sent an email over to Garth with the demo. We had no idea.
She just wanted
We had no
feedback.
idea.
She wasn't.
Feedback. See if he thought it was something.
Yeah.
So we end up having a Zoom meeting with Willow Sound, and they're like, "Okay, so take a breather. I got some information for you. Like, do you guys wait? Do you guys have wine in the fridge?"
Sit down. You're gonna need to sit.
So Garth Fundus, we're like, "Yeah, like we're Trisha Yearwood, Keith Whitley, like, yeah." He wants to work with you and record "Fool for Love" and a second single. And we've just freaked out.
Well,
we had no idea that
I
this
blacked
was gonna
out.
happen.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
what?
So
Oh my
that's
God.
neat. It's something that was like basically a complete surprise to us, but even to the label, I think deep down, because they were hoping he would answer with some feedback,
Mhm.
of constructive criticism, anything like that.
Maybe refer to a smaller producer.
Yeah.
Like-
So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sabrina, I do have to say that once you hear your voice on the tracks, like it makes sense that any producer would want to jump at working with you guys. No offense, Dave. No offense. Your guitar. Okay, the do 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 do. Never in a million years will I ever be able to play that. I give you full credit. I am way more a singer than I am a guitarist, and that's why I have 3 other guys behind me that take care of all of that.
That's music, right? There's room for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of the do, time to break down your latest single. Now, your latest single, "Broke," is every small town kid's anthem. Minus the fact that I drove a Dodge growing up and not a Chevy. This single now has just under 10,000 streams on Spotify, and it can be heard on Sirius XM CBC Country on channel 171. Another round of applause moment. I remember the first time I heard my song on there, and it was just jumping for joy. I know this is now your second song on Sirius XM, which is incredible. Can you guys tell us about the song? Like, who wrote it, produced it, recorded it, and then let's talk about the release strategy going into the game.
You want to talk, Dave?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so like we mentioned, it's Garth Fundus that produced it. He did such an amazing job because, like we were talking before the show, the recording process was very different with the pandemic, with COVID. We were originally supposed to, when he decided that he wanted to work with us, we're like, awesome, like we're going to Nashville, we'll figure it out.
For the first time.
Who cares? Let's go to Nashville.
Yeah. Then COVID had started, but we weren't sure exactly. There was so many question marks. We didn't know what was going on. And then it got really bad, especially in the States first. So we decided, let's pull the plug on that. So then thankfully he was okay. He had never done this before. He was okay with recording remotely from each other's houses.
Mm-hmm.
which was a really cool experience in itself. So we started doing that. Usually you go in a studio and you spend, depending on how many songs you're recording, you take a few days and boom, it's done.
Yep.
We worked on it together for like 2-3 months.
Ooh.
So it's a lot of back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's nice because we created that relationship.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you guys, like, how was the communication back and forth?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was amazing. What was really, really cool, like from a vocalist standpoint, is Garth he's a vocal producer. Like
Yeah.
he really knows what he's talking about. Like he even did the harmonies for the song Amanda, that high pitch harmony in the back. Like that's actually him.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's actually him doing that. Yeah. So it was neat because he would call and, we would discuss the vibe, and then he would be like, hey, let's go through the lyrics. And, he would give me some tips.
Add a little bit more T in there, a little bit
like
more
just
S
some
in there.
small little features that really, really developed me as a singer just in that short amount of time.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it was a lot of calls back and forth.
Yeah.
Zoom meetings. Our first Zoom meeting with him just so happened to be on our wedding anniversary, so that was a super cool anniversary date.
That's wicked.
Fun.
Where is this horseshoe you guys seem to have?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's just been a cool year and a half.
Yeah.
No doubt.
The recording process was really cool, but also like the musicians that he hired on his end, because COVID was bad there as well. So they all did everything remotely from their house.
Yeah, it was cool.
Which is crazy because you listen to it and it sounds like everybody's together.
Yeah. It sounds live on the floor.
Exactly. And that's what it's like, hey, this, sounds like you guys are a band. So we're laughing about that. But so we were just thrilled with how it ended up sounding and just with the end product.
And to be able to cut a song like written by Brandy Clark,
right.
Shane Mack, first of all, was just amazing, right? Being given that opportunity. But it really did sound like a Northern Ontario small town.
I mean, unless I hadn't read the actual part before, I would have 100% thought that was a story about you guys growing up.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, Northern Ontario. That sounds 100%. That.
Yeah, we can definitely get behind this song. This is us.
Yeah.
If I had a penny, I sure couldn't spare it back then. So yeah.
Meanwhile, we're recording those songs, and we're broke now. So by the second song, we were broke.
Yeah, fair enough. That was a good transitioning song for you guys.
Yeah. It was an absolutely amazing experience, and we're so thankful for the opportunity we were given, and just for everything. We worked really hard, but at the same time, I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and it seems like things kind of, these blocks were kind of falling in place, and it's been a fun journey so far.
I was talking with David Boyd James a little while ago, and he has a big one: thoughts become things, and it's 100% accurate. As long as you believe that you can achieve it, there's no reason why you can't.
Yeah, I believe in that too. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you can't just sit on your ass and expect everything to happen for you. But so you guys have this mastered copy of Broke, and it's sitting in your hands, and you're like, okay, I want to give this to the world right now. What was your guys' release strategy coming up to it? Did you guys want to think about like radio first, or were you thinking about Spotify and streaming platforms, or did you want to combine them together?
So quite honestly, we did both singles. We recorded them that summer. And the idea was, let's not worry about anything for these songs. It's our introduction. Let's just really do us. Let's really do our sound, and hopefully, things will come out of it. So that was the initial strategy.
Yeah.
Was just to totally like be clear on who we are, and hopefully people will get the sound.
Yeah.
And really. So that was kind of the initial. And then when we got the the final versions. We shed a few tears for sure. As far as release for Broke, we were excited to show a different side of us, a fun side, a small town side. So the strategy was, our video was homemade, our music video, and we went to my family's like old cabin. And, that was on May Run. We were fishing, we were having a good time. We just took clips. So we wanted
That's
it to
perfect.
show, who we are and what we do on the weekends with family.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, right? Like these songs, these were our first two singles as Rosewood Avenue.
Mhm.
And, we're like, let's just release them and let the songs speak for themselves, right? So, like, we had the master, that was hard. We had the master copies in our hands in October. And then we're like, well, Christmas is around the corner. You can't release music,
Nah, if it doesn't have jingle bells in it, don't do it.
That's right.
So we're like, all right, so we got to wait till January. And then, so we had decided, okay, we're going to release Fool for Love first because we are a husband and wife duo, and that's the perfect first song.
We were like, let's do it on Valentine's Day weekend because why not?
Yeah. And that was our big
marketing strategies.
We're like, all right, so let's release it, I guess, no earlier than end of January. And then we had that brilliant idea. Well, let's just wait till Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we
right?
are Rosewood Avenue. It's like Rose Weekend.
Yeah. And then so then that was our first song. And when we found out, because again, like we didn't have these huge not expectations, but we wanted to just be happy with just releasing the songs and not worry about all the other stuff, just be happy with that accomplishment. And so we weren't even thinking about Sirius XM or anything like that.
We were hoping.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a dream.
Yeah. Did you guys hire a tracker for that or
no?
Cold interviews?
Yeah, well, we were stations like old fashioned. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you looked at my phone, I had about 46 outgoing calls.
Yeah, just calling. Hey.
In a couple of days.
Yes.
So we did
yes.
So Tara, who's with Willow Sound, so she's like, just grind.
Do it.
Just call. And she said, hopefully we'll get enough traction with those, right? And that'll show up in your DMDS database. And then hopefully what will happen is Sirius XM will like the CBC 171, they'll pay attention and see that, oh, okay, they're, and then and that was a hope.
That was like,
we're like, let's
yeah.
So then finally she called them to pitch our song, and they're like, oh yeah, we're already playing it.
So
yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, we've been playing it for the last 2 months.
So it's St. Patrick's Day, and that's when we find out that it's been playing for a little while. Because I'd always
again.
Yeah, so it's St. Patrick's Day, and I have my family over.
What's coming up next? Thanksgiving. You guys want to hang out on Thanksgiving? I feel like it's probably going to be really awesome for you guys.
It's weird. I'll never green cupcake, and my parents are there, and I'm like, I'm gonna put it on just in case, because this would be super cool for our song first time with my family.
20 minutes later, it starts
goes
playing.
On. We're like, ah! My dad's yelling at my mom, come in the living room, it's on. My sister runs in.
Similar experience. The girlfriend, we're all driving through my hometown of Dorian and Hercot, and we just stop at the one store in the whole entire town, and I go over to order like some kind of smoky for the missus, and my song comes on Sirius XM. Next thing you know, all the windows are down in my truck, the thing's just pumping out. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me right now. Of all the places, my hometown would be the place.
And it's such an amazing feeling. And then the first time we heard Broke on the radio, this is a crazy story too. So we're on the way to Nashville for the first time, excited. And we just we're having like a sandwich or something, and we're like, let's put the radio on like through the app. Let's see. Our song plays in the airport.
There's no horseshoe, I promise.
And I was like,
It's
it was
deep, Dave.
unreal.
It probably is.
It's in there.
But yeah, so yeah, this man, it sometimes like I heard it again I think 2 days ago or maybe just yesterday.
I will honestly tell you, as an avid Sirius XM listener, your song is on at least 3 times a day.
That's awesome.
I hear, and it's like during the perfect time. So like 9 a.m. when people are getting to work or driving, 5 p.m. when people are leaving, and then you got another one somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock. You guys are in the prime time spots.
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Actually, like Fool for Love, we heard it lots. We caught it lots, and Broke, we haven't caught it all that much.
Well, I think I'm teaching when it's on.
I think we've just been busy.
I can't just have the radio. It might be weird if I'm teaching my class and I Miss, why do you have the radio on?
Okay, shut up, everybody.
hey. Remember, I'm a music teacher. This is me. You're welcome.
Now listen to me.
Right? Maybe they'll take me more seriously tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's been I don't know, it's been unreal journey, unreal experience. We're grateful for everything.
But one of the coolest things though is like being able to network with musicians.
Yeah,
like, the fact that we're right now, like we never got to really meet many songwriters and country musicians. Like in our area, there's not a whole lot, right?
No, I hear you.
Did you research on a map yet where we live?
So Iroquois Falls is quite a distance away. However, I live in Thunder Bay, so I am a 18-hour drive from Toronto. So I'm actually 8 hours away from Winnipeg. I'm closer to Manitoba than I am to anywhere else in Ontario.
Yeah, I have some family in Thunder Bay. I have
a
couple of aunts and uncles, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So this part of the podcast we like to call Suspended in Time. Basically, I take a picture off your social media exclusively just for our YouTube audience, which means the podcast guys don't get to hear this. You have to explain exactly what's going on in this picture. Now, normally I find a funny or an embarrassing picture because that's the kind of guy I am. But you two are just so goddamn cute that I can't. However, I did find a picture of you with your biggest fan ever. So for the audience tuning in, please introduce them to this amazing fan right here.
Molly.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with my dog.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
We adopted her when she was 7.
Oh, of course you did.
And now she's 12. Well, she's gonna be 12 in February. She still looks like a little puppy. But
no doubt.
That picture right there that you showed,
that
is, we brought her to a hotel for the first time.
Yeah, it was super exciting.
And she was like, she didn't know what was going on. So we went out for supper. And then we came back and she was like, she made a bed out of the sheets on the bed. And that's why we jumped on and then we took a little selfie.
That's awesome. Oh, you guys. My goodness. It's hard to make jokes on any of this. I'm usually the guy that's trying to make like something funny out of everything, but damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's embarrassing pics out there, but we don't post them.
I'm gonna have to send you of Dave like the year before we met, though, with
the big hair.
Please do. We can do it as an exclusive picture. I'll put it as the cover for the Canadian Country Music Podcast.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. How PG of a picture are we talking?
Oh no, it's PG. I'm like.
Is this the one where you Photoshop flames in the back?
Oh, there's some different ones.
In your Dave Rocks.
I really wanted to be a rock star.
I think you had like the sweatbands.
Oh yeah, I had the like with the spikes.
Yeah.
You know, the bands with the spike.
Yeah. Did you have the wallet chain too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We didn't get that far into it at least.
But I was rocking the.
So Rosewood Avenue listeners, right now I am making I implore you, as your civic duty, you must go on to Rosewood's Facebook page and get these damn pictures out here. They need to be seen by the public.
They are deep.
Yeah.
You gotta scroll.
They're on the dark web.
Yeah, they're there.
Ooh. I know a guy.
That set of hair that I had, it was like,
It was down his shoulders.
well, here's the thing, it was curly, so it came down to here, but curly.
Oh, that's thick.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nuts. Yeah.
Oh.
That's not one I added.
Steel Panther would be jealous of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that was before I added him on MSN. He did
She was not interested in me before.
It was before that time.
I could just say, you're so greasy.
You're so greasy. You gotta cut your hair.
Oh my goodness. Oh, all right. Whew. Try focus. Now, every single one of us has had a completely different view of what success looks like. For some, they may want platinum records. For some, they want to beat attendance records. Some, in the words of Brett Kissel, just want to make a life. So complete this sentence for me. I believe Rosewood Avenue is successful or will be successful when or why. There is no wrong answer. I just love hearing about what artists' goals are, and I think the fans can help you guys reach them if they actually hear it.
When we play at the Grand Ole Opry.
Fair enough. Yep, that'll be it.
That's our ultimate goal. That's the church of country music. It's we've been watching it for years, and so when we went to Nashville, we went for the first time, and no word of a lie, I almost started crying. Like we got choked up. Once we got to our seats, we're actually here, and it's just this energy in there. It's a very strong energy, and it's all positive. It's just, it's
unreal.
And then, so we went back a second time.
We weren't supposed to. We had a flight the next day at like 6 a.m. in the morning, but it was Carly Pierce playing, and
okay.
We need to go. So
all right,
yeah.
But so that's the ultimate goal. We don't really. I mean, everything else would be bonus.
Well, hey, with the luck you guys have, just call them up. They'll probably put you on.
No, we're not there.
I think eventually.
Imagine we were just on the poster. We didn't even know.
I'm just in here to fill in as Carly Pierce's backup singer.
Just show up.
What's the worst that could happen? I'm sure we'll figure out some bail money. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
we're good. So, guys, what's next for you two? Now we have these two singles coming up. I didn't hear anything about Garth and you guys working with another song. Do you guys have any other music coming out right now, or are we focusing on creativity at the moment?
Well, creativity at the moment. So we do know that we're going to be releasing more music this year, or early in the new year. Haven't really quite picked what they are yet, but you will be hearing more music.
Do you guys have like a sense of what you kind of want the song to feel like? Do you have like this one's going to be an upbeat fun song, this one's going to be a love song, this one's going to be a heartache song?
I don't think we know exactly in terms of that, but I think just in general, like, our next goal is to hit more the primary radio market. So just that itself, we got about 4 songs that we're looking at right now. Some that we wrote, and others that other songwriters wrote from Nashville. And we're just kind of in the process of figuring out what's the best songs for us.
Yeah. So we're in the demo. We're in the demo zone right now.
We're in the pick and choose. That's the fun part.
It is.
I just love having the music spread out, and you're just like,
yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
like you, but I like you.
Yeah, you're all right. You know what? That, to be honest with you, I'm probably the worst for song pitches, because when they send it to me, if it doesn't fit my voice, I'll be 100% honest with them. But I'll also be like, you know what though, Christina Rogers could sing the hell out of that song.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be like, so why don't you should send that to her? And you know what, Paige Rutledge should do that. I haven't gotten to any like full on Rosewood Avenue songs, but I'm sure they're coming my way. Although, you know what? I might just steal them. I have a softy side on my side as well. So if I get any heartache songs, they might just stay in my repertoire. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a tough thing too, picking, because sometimes you're like, hey, I just release ballads. Just like, I'd release 10 ballads in a row. But I mean, we all know that you can't just release ballads.
Yeah, unfortunately, not all of us are Bublé.
Yeah. but that's why, we got a great team, and they're like, sometimes they're like, no, you gotta do this one, trust us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good for you guys. And you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But we love the fun stuff too, though. Like Dave and I are like obsessed with Prime Country.
Oh yeah.
Good Prime Country stuff.
Put
So
on your
You
boots.
you can hear it in Broke. Like Broke is 100% for you guys. It is 100%. It's quirky, it's fun, but you still have like the complete harmonies and the aspect of it. It's the complete song. If you guys didn't send that one off to mainstream radio, like I can't imagine it not being picked up everywhere.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I listen to it with like Brett Kissel plays before you guys, and then like somebody else plays after you guys, and they're all the mainstream artists, the ones that we all grew up listening to, and then they put Broke by Rosewood Avenue dead in the middle, and there's no difference quality wise whatsoever.
Thank you.
Thanks. We appreciate that. But yeah, like that's just to show like Garth and Chad Carlson too, who mixed the song. They just did an amazing job. And yeah.
Well, we had, to have Vince Gill's like organ player on Broke was pretty cool because we're big Vince Gill fans.
I forgot that tidbit. It's in my notes. I just missed it.
Hey, it's all good.
So it really brought out that because
Yeah.
like we also played a lot of blues growing up too.
Mhm.
So I feel like that song we were able to get more into that blues, classic rock
Yeah.
side of us as well. So
It felt natural too to because after you record, you got to play live, right?
Yep.
That's a challenging thing.
Yeah.
So it just really felt natural for us to play it. So yeah, it's a great
That's
song.
awesome.
Lucky that it fell into our laps.
yeah.
Oh, well, guys, if you weren't a fan before, I am willing to bet everything that I have now that you are. And if you guys just received hundreds of tens of new CCM podcast fans, where can they follow you guys up on social media?
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, Rosewood Ave, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our website is
What is our website?
RosewoodAveMusic.com.
She's got you.
That's why I married her. Yeah. You can follow us all on those platforms, and we got actually some merch coming out soon.
Ooh.
Stay tuned for that. We got some nice crew neck sweaters.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love the
everybody loves crew neck sweaters.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, guys, Sabrina, Dave, thank you guys so much for coming on to take time to chat with us today. I know I joked around a lot about you guys having a horseshoe up your ass, but the fact of the matter is you guys can't get anywhere without goddamn talent, and you guys have it throughout. Now, this will be a podcast that I'll have to listen to and take time and time again to fully absorb all the knowledge that's in here, but I cannot wait to meet you guys two face to face. Hopefully soon we'll be on a stage somewhere very, very shortly. So again, thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Thank you so
Tim.
much.
That was so much fun. I feel like we got to hang out, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel on the bay right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah.
Right? Bring it on. Hey, Country on the Bay is happening July 22nd to the 24th, and Toby Keith is the headliner, and there's a whole whack ton of others coming. It's actually Dauphin, Manitoba's country festival sister festival. So it's the inaugural festival, so they're pouring a shit ton of money into the first one.
That's the July 22nd is our 5th wedding anniversary. So that sounds like a pretty good anniversary trip right there.
Well, it'd be good to.
You guys can renew your vows in my backyard.
Oh, that sounds great.
Is Johnny Reed on the bill for that one?
Johnny Reed is on the bill. Terry Clark's on the bill. Brett Kissel's on the bill. Jade Eagleson, Aaron Perchette, Gord Bamford, Jade Tay. No, I think JoJo's on there. I don't think Tebe's on there yet. There's still a boatload of artists that still need to be named onto this thing too. It's going to be an absolute blast here. So if you guys want to make the trip up to Thunder Bay, I will make sure you guys are nice and cozy.
It'd be cool to meet a lot of you folks.
Guys, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
so
That
much.
was a lot of fun.
That was lots of fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna get loud by a bunch of proud, their guitar slinging, whiskey coke drinking. Gonna throw it down, shout out to the crowd. Gonna play the Brooks and Dunn to keep them singing. Bartender, pour up another round. Keep on